Back in March 2019, I left my chow and went back to Hanoi. I ended up hanging out in Hanoi for a week because I had made a lot of friends with some expats that lived there. I sold my shitty motorcycle very quickly and I got 240 US dollars for it. I paid 300 for it and I probably could have gotten that much back, but I didn't feel like dealing with it. At that point, I just hated that motorcycle because it broke down in 4 weeks. It broke down 4 times. Anyway, then I took a bus to Cat Ba in Lanha Bay, which is right next to the more famous Ha Long Bay. It's less touristy, but just as beautiful. I planned on spending a few days in Cat Ba lounging by the beach, but on the very first day I got there, I met an Australian named Aram, and he introduced me to a Romanian guy named Dimitri, who had a Honda XR motorcycle that he was looking to sell, the exact type of bike that I was planning on renting when I got back to Hanoi. So here I am at the beautiful Tung Thu Beach on Cat Ba Island. It is very beautiful. And I might have a bike. I am thinking about buying a motorcycle from a guy I just randomly met on the street. So I'm really excited about that. This beach is awesome. It's super clean and there is no one here. Literally no one. There's like 2 locals, a family over there, and that's it. No Westerners at all, no tourists. It's great. I don't know why there's nobody here. The weather's fine. There's also all these cool little holes where crabs have made their homes and taken out all this sand to make their houses, which is so cool. I've also found some transverse arcs, a bunch of snails, really cool shit on this beach. I don't know why it's empty. It's weird. I mean, I am here in the low season. It is early March, but this place is beautiful. So if you're on Cat Ba, I'd say come to this beach because it's empty and beautiful. Maybe it's just that this is the first beach that I've come to. And maybe it's just that there are way better beaches and I don't know yet because this is my first day on Cat Ba. I don't know. Ruminations about good bikes versus shitty bikes in Vietnam. So the Honda Win, which has not been a Honda in 20 years, Honda stopped making them in the year 2000, and Vietnamese and Chinese companies now make them, like D-Tech. The Honda Win is a piece of shit, and it's known to be a piece of shit. But it's a cheap piece of shit. It's cheap to run, it's cheap to maintain, it's cheap to buy, it's cheap to sell. It is a cheap bike. So even if you buy a total piece of shit, the most you can possibly lose is around like $300 or $400, maybe maximum $500. A nice bike, on the other hand, like the Honda XR, which is actually a Honda, those go for 2,000 US dollars, and they're nice. But what sucks there is if you get a shitty one, you can lose up to $2,000. And so this is my conundrum, because I did not like riding the Win. It was a awful bike. So I'm thinking about buying an XR now. I just met a guy who wants to sell it to me for 2,000 US dollars, and I really want to buy it. It just makes me nervous because if it's shitty, then there goes $2,000. You know, I could lose up to $2,000. With the Win, I knew maximum I'm going to lose is 500, which is not a lot of money when you factor everything in. I just don't know. I'm on the fence right now. I'm leaning towards buying it, but I'm also lazy, and getting that much money out of the bank is going to be a pain in the ass, and it's going to take a while. But I'm definitely leaning towards buying it. I have upgraded from the terrible Honda Win to the beautiful Honda XR. This thing eats off-road. You can see how muddy it is. This thing is glorious in comparison to the Win. And I have a top box, which is pretty dope. I am definitely off the beaten path now. I don't know where I am. I mean, I'm not far from a road. I'm only about probably a 15-20 minute walk. But this is definitely not where I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to find a cave, but I'm sure the entrance to the cave was off the road, and I decided to take this dirt path, which I think was a good idea because this is part of Keppa that probably only locals ever see. And I'm right next to the mountains, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. I mean, look at that. Right next to these huge limestone karsts. And then also, there's these little rocky outcroppings that are just so cool looking, you know? It makes me feel like I'm in like a fantasy novel or something. There's also this weird, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a line going. It's anchored in the ground over there, and it goes all the way up to that ridge line. And I don't know what that's for. It had cables attached to it. Maybe it's for transporting goods. I don't know. I just fell down on my motorcycle twice because I'm not good at this yet. I wasn't going fast. I was in first gear. I was going very slowly. But I was going over this. I was going over this road. Not really a road, but this track. Very, very slippery, which is why I fell. But the bike is totally fine because that's what it's fucking designed for. This thing is awesome. And the hand guards, or whatever they're called, the hand guards did exactly what they were supposed to do. They protected the clutch and the brake, and yeah, it was awesome. So first fall, actually second and then third fall, because I fell once in Hajang, also going in first gear, also going very slowly. But yeah, not bad. Cave exploration. This is the cave exploration day 3. This is the 3rd or 4th cave. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th cave that I have explored in the last like week and a half or so. Once again, I have the whole place to myself, which I love about Vietnamese caves is you're always the only one there. It's great. And this one, unlike the other one, has electricity. It has lights, so I won't be walking through absolute complete darkness, which is nice. I appreciate that. I gotta say, having electricity in here and having lights makes the cave way more interesting. Because when you're just walking around in the dark, it's cool, it's fun, but you miss literally everything. You miss literally everything. You don't get to see how the light plays on the stalagmites and stalactites. You don't get to see anything because it's dark. So I really appreciate that this cave is a little more touristy and has lights. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's some plants growing right there, which doesn't make any sense because we're in the middle of a cave. How are there plants growing here? Unless they're fake, but why would anyone put fake ones here? I don't see anywhere where the sun could like sneak through. I don't know, weird. This cave is cool. There's parts where it's like very open, nice high ceiling, sweet footpath. And then there's parts that are not so open, where you literally have to crouch down to get through. And then it opens back up. It is a little bit claustrophobic, because it's a cave, obviously, but also because I'm the only one in here. So if these lights suddenly lost power and shut off, I'd be totally fucked. But obviously that's not gonna happen. But it's still, you know, it's in the back of your mind. Worst case scenario. Caves always have the creepiest metal doors. I bet this squeaks too, I betcha. Ooh. Yeah, it squeaks. Creepy. I have reached the exit. For a minute I wasn't really sure if it was gonna loop around or if I would have to walk back through the cave, but that was a cool little cave. It was big, but not like unbelievably big. I walked through the whole thing in probably about 15 minutes. And now, greeted with the gray overcast skies, I am going to get back on that beautiful, wonderful motorcycle. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. And I'm gonna maybe check out some more caves, maybe check out the beach. I have no idea what I'm doing next. Just came back to the entrance and there's a guard there now. So I guess I was there during his lunch break, and so I didn't have to pay. Which now explains why the gate was locked and I just went around. Oh well. There goes a traditional junk ship with the paper sails. But what's cool about those paper sails is that they look great against the backdrop of the islands and the limestone. They're great for pictures, they're great for video. Bam. This bridge is intense. It's just literally wooden planks and wooden logs fashioned into a bridge. Luckily, underneath there's nothing bad. If I fell down, I'd just get muddy. But it is a little bit rickety. But look at where I am. It's absolutely beautiful. So, Kepa is a gorgeous place. The limestone karsts as they meet the sea is just a wonderful, wonderful area. Overall, I really liked Kappa. Its beaches weren't great, but its mountains were awesome, its roads were great, and it's just a chill, relaxing environment. So I really enjoyed just hanging out and relaxing in the hostel and hiking the really nice mountain trails and doing a little bit of off-roading. All of that was just a lot of fun. And I also got a shiny new motorcycle out of the deal. After this, I headed to Banjiok, which I continued to mispronounce as Banjiok.